slick to start with, but definitely is going to be a challenge for sure.
Right off the bat, I'm already seeing guys try to figure out where to be on this racetrack. Tony, we have rumble strips down on the bottom. You can see in the paint. Some guys are already down trying to drive through those rumble strips, seeing if they can find enough grip down there. You can see it right there with Eric Almirola. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys navigate around this track. And only 8 minutes. Not much time here for practice.
8-minute practice session. The 36-car field divided into 3 groups for practice. Kyle Busch making pace on the inside of the racetrack.
And this is crazy because nobody has any notes on this racetrack whatsoever, except for the guys that have done this on iRacing. That's the only laps they have right now.
Now we have a lot of faces in new places, and we'll get to that. And oh, by the way, the whole race car is new for 2022.
Yeah. I'm impressed that they're able to run all the way, all fours down on those rumble strips already. For sure, you can see the fast boys around have already been down there on the bottom and digging.
So the rumble strips are little depressions in the asphalt that was made during the paving process. And already we've seen Kyle Busch with 4 wheels under the white line and all down on the paint looking for grip.
Now, obviously, they're down there by design to keep these guys from going down there. Everybody going into this anticipated, can we do that? How much grip can we find down there? And you can see them making early lap time. But as I look for this track to gain some lap time and get some rubber burnt into it, you'll see them moving up and finding better grip up there.
I think right now it's just they're all exploring. They actually did something I've never seen the Cup Series do. They had a 30-minute track walk like you would see at a Supercross event, and the drivers were walking down there, and you see them taking their feet and dragging their feet across the surface. And that's where these guys, like you see, you're already seeing guys with the left sides or even all 4 below that white line. They felt more grip in their shoes below the line than they did above it.
But actually, as the lap times keep picking up here, you're seeing them move up. And I think that's because of the drive off the corner. They can get down there and find some speed getting into the corner, but it makes them get loose and can't, spin the tires up off. You see Kyle Busch there, and he's running some good laps. That's the experience, in my opinion, don't you think?
Yeah, and literally, though, it's going to be trial and error because what you think you're going to be doing isn't necessarily what's going to work. So you would sit there and think with those dimples in the racetrack that you wouldn't want to be on top of that because it's not a constant surface. But since the stuff that you're on top of does have grip, I think that's what's going to lead these guys to have that opportunity to go down there.
Christopher Bell, he and teammate Kyle Busch and Ty Dillon have pace here in the first couple minutes of practice. And a nice line.
And that's the thing, the way this track is shaped, it's not a traditional oval. It kind of looks like an Australian rules football is what it's shaped like. So the entries are kind of open, the exits are kind of open and open up outwards. So it gives these guys an opportunity to move around and can kind of have an arcing, sweeping entry.
Bubba Wallace leading a pack that includes Kurt Busch in his new ride, looking for a way to the inside. And instead, he gives way to A.J. Allmendinger. Brad Keselowski.
I saw Brad slide up right here as we're watching him. He actually pitted, folks, but he slid up big time in 1 and 2. Interesting to see what happened.
Now, where he is parked is where the cars will stage to leave the track at the end of this 8-minute session. Looks like he and Eric Almirola. Almirola just backed out of the throttle, looking for some clean racetrack ahead of him, and then picks it up again. Denny Hamlin slow in the back straightaway. Is he looking for a gap? Yes. And finds one.
I'll tell you, the car that I'm really impressed with is Eric Jones. That car seems to be rolling well, making good grip for him. He's not only passed cars, he's on top of the board too, or running second there for a lap time. Good average speeds.
And I truly believe the longer we see this, there hasn't been race cars on this, so the surface is fresh. There's a lot of oil on top of it. I feel like the longer and more laps that are put on this track, it's just going to continue to get faster and faster.
So what Denny Hamlin wanted to do was wait and follow Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch and see how and where they are running.
You can see that 21 spinning the tires up off there, but this is that protection line that we've been talking about. 21 went in low, enabled Eric Jones to hang it outside, arc that corner, and get a better drive off the corner. As soon as the 21 slid up the middle, he was there for the taking.
That's kind of fun to see the 43 and the 21 going at it.
Yeah, old school,
Takes
right?
me back.
You can see him go across those rumble strips, and when he got on the throttle, it really stepped out. That's what I expected to see that.
So since they came on track about 6 minutes ago, lap times have come down by a full second. No
I think
surprise.
that's to be expected. I mean, it's like I said, it's a fresh racetrack, and the more laps they run, the better this is going to get. The more it's going to break the sealer off the top of the new asphalt there, and start building some grip.
Now, most everyone has run 25 laps. That's the length of a heat race tomorrow, is 25 laps to determine your qualifying position.
Now, Mike, those are the cars the guys that are happy with their automobiles. These other guys, you can see down there, Austin Cindric, Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, they're down in the pit area. There needs some adjustments. They'll be back for this second practice.
And the hard part about a traditional track is they can't just pull out and go back to the pit area and get ready to come back out. This is done in groups.
Right. You have the 8 minutes to use as you please. And then there are 2 more groups waiting. Right down to the inside. Look at those rumble strips there as they roll over them and look for grip mid-corner. So 6 cars have gone to the infield to wait the end of the session. That leaves half a dozen still on track and still searching for speed. As Christopher Bell goes to the top of the chart. He and Kurt Busch, Ty Dillon, and Kyle Busch have each run 30 laps.
And one would
1
ask,
minute.
why do those guys already pull off the racetrack? You got to save some tire. We only have 5 sets of tires per team all weekend long. Use them however you want. So these guys are trying to save their tires, make those adjustments, and make it accordingly and use it to the second practice. That's what's going on here.
And they're going to run long enough just to figure out what their car's doing. I mean, there's no need, if it's not driving the way you want, you want to have the time and take the time to move around and try to see if you can help make your car drive better. But at the same time, you're not just, once you figure out what it's doing, you're not going to fix it by just continuing to stay on the racetrack. So to your point, you do want to save those tires and not use the equipment.
Well, 14 seconds is going to be a pretty good bogey. Right now, we only have 2, actually 1 driver. One driver under that mark, and that's Christopher Bell. Kyle Busch is right at it at a 14:06. And that will end session 1 for group 1 of 3 groups.
The Gibbs boys looking stout.
What a beautiful facility, and what an event we're looking forward to. Practice this morning on FS2, time trials later today on FS1.